The views expressed by the host on this program documented to be almost always right 99.8% of the time. Program where the expectations of the audience are met and exceeded and surpassed each and every day. Telephone number, if you want to be on the program, 800-282-2882. The email address, elrushbo@eibnet.com. I want you to get line 4 ready to go because I'm going there pretty quickly. TheHill.com today is reporting that President Trump is considering a new minimum age to buy guns. Trump reportedly talking about the potential of implementing a new minimum age of 21 to buy guns, similar to the AR-15 used last week in the deadly Florida high school shooting. Axios is reporting. That's a millennial website that explains why what's in the news is important. Axios reporting Trump has said to associates he doesn't believe high school students should be able to purchase guns. He said he would consider imposing an age requirement of 21 for people to buy guns like the AR-15. Now, folks, there is a stampede on, and it is aimed right at Trump. This stampede consists of two things, with many offshoots. The stampede consists of getting Trump to raise the age limit, and the next thing that they're pushing is for Trump to ban bump stocks. To get serious, now this is something that came up after Las Vegas. Again, there is a lot of misunderstanding about guns, and I by no means am a gun expert, but I can tell you a few things. The media uses terminology like semi-automatic and automatic to make people think that they can go out and buy guns and just pull a trigger once and cause an endless spray of ammo. And those guns are illegal and are only in the hands of the military. And, of course, people that break the law. The way people get around that is the bump stock. The bump stock actually goes on the end of the gun, the stock that rests against your shoulder. And it is a flexible stock that causes a ricochet with every pull of the trigger. The theory behind the bump stock is that the reaction, pulling the trigger, will hit your shoulder and cause your trigger to pull again. The bump stock, in other words, makes you almost in a reflexive way keep pulling the trigger. And that's what was. They found a bunch of those in the hotel room of the Vegas shooter, and even the NRA has come out after Las Vegas and said they would support new regulations on bump stocks and so forth. So those are the two things that Trump's being stampeded on, and they're actually more than that. Now, I've got a guy on the phone from Victoria, Texas, named John, who's seeing some red warning signs about that. John, how are you? Welcome to the EIB Network. Great to have you here, sir.
Mega dittos, Rush. How you doing?
Fine and dandy, sir. I appreciate your call.
Well, there's two things that Trump could have done in order to lose my support. One would have been amnesty, and then the other one would have been gun control, and he's caving on this one. So the thing about this bump stock ban is that that raises red flags for me is, number one, excuse me, I'm a little bit nervous, that it doesn't just cover bump stocks. It covers what it says, any device that increases the rate of fire. Well, right. That's a very dangerously broad term, because that covers not just bump stocks, but aftermarket triggers. It could be lighter bolt carriers, anything that could, quote unquote, increase the rate of fire of a semi-automatic.
Wait just a second. I'm just seeing something on TV here. I've got to see this before I forget it. I'm watching Fox right now. They're doing a story on the students up at Tallahassee, and here's what the screen says. Survivors march on Tallahassee. Students demand action on gun control. Okay, Excuse me, folks. How can I not observe that that is a political agenda? Action on gun control. It is a political agenda, and it happens to be one of the biggest fundraising aspects of the Democrat Party agenda. In fact, where's Harvey Weinstein? John, hang on, we're coming back to you. Where's Harvey Weinstein? You've heard that Clooney is donating $500,000 to this March 24th event, and now there are a couple of other actors have joined in. But where's Weinstein? Harvey Weinstein said when they were trotting him off to the rehab center, remember he wrote a big piece that he was going to get serious and take out the NRA. That was the way, the first thing Harvey Weinstein thought that he could do to get back into good graces of the Hollywood left was to do what? To assure them that now with all this free time he had between visits to the therapist, he was going to focus on wiping out the NRA. Well, Harvey Weinstein's one of the biggest bundlers and fundraisers and donors of the Democrat Party's had in our lifetimes. So, anyway, back to you, John. Trump's going to meet with the students and parents to talk school safety in the wake of the shootings. There have been a number of things. During the Obamacare debate, Trump had said some things that people got very, very worried about and were ready to abandon ship. And then when Trump had that open meeting with all the Democrats to discuss, I'm having a mental block on what the issue was, but when he said, hey, I'll sign anything you bring me, and I think this was, it was immigration. And people, oh, my God, he's caving. And a bunch of people said, that's it. If he's going to give them. And when it was all over, Trump was just playing with them and didn't end up getting anywhere near where he had alluded to be going. But you're thinking that he's getting dangerously close here to losing you. And if he loses you, he's probably going to lose a lot of people like you, right?
Yes, sir. Because this is not legislation. This is executive action. This is basically the ATF making up legislation as they go along, because the only way you can turn a semi-automatic rifle into a machine gun is you replace the trigger group to where it allows for fully automatic fire. And
that's illegal, correct?
That is illegal without a transfer tax, because there is, if you go through a more involved background process and a lot of money and a $200 transfer tax, you can actually own machine guns that are still legal under the Hughes Amendment, which was passed in 1986.
Why would anybody want a machine gun? Why would anybody in your circle of friends, why would any of you guys want a machine gun? In what way would you use it?
Because I'm a Second Amendment absolutist, Rush. I'm a very hardcore libertarian. And there's belief systems out there that the Second Amendment is not for hunting. It's not even necessarily for defending your home against criminals. It's for defending yourself against a tyrannical government.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think that. A lot of people believe that.
So one of the ways you can counter a tyrannical government is by being able to have an equivalent amount of firepower that they have, in case they want to send like what they did at Ruby Ridge or Waco, where basically took military action against U.S. citizens.
Well, yeah, in Waco, they literally started a fire, blew everybody up. At Ruby Ridge. But look, if the U.S. military, if some despotic president decided he was going to take over the place and call us Venezuela Junior, there's no way. You have enough firepower? Do we have enough firepower to resist the United States military?
No, but it's not. It's more complicated than that, Rush, because it's a matter of numbers going door to door. That wouldn't be possible. How it would happen is, it would be something like Australia, where you've got, a certain amount of time to turn in your illegal weapons. And then if you don't, we're going to go through the ATF. Whenever you buy a firearm, you fill out what's called a 4473. And that is an unofficial registration, because the gun store has to keep that information for 20 years. So the ATF will know, the ATF and the FBI will know who you bought it, who bought that weapon, where it is, and all they have to do is they don't even have to come for it. All they have to do is maybe label you a domestic terrorist and...
Well, if they do that, if they label you a domestic terrorist, you're going to get a visit from a drone. And you're not even going to know the drone's there.
So that's how but that's one of the ways they would do it. It's not the thought of, a bunch of police and soldiers going door to door. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Look,
I'm well aware that a number of people interpret the Second Amendment the way you have, the way you are. And in fact, the left loves to pounce on that because they think that's straight out of Cookville. The left thinks that having a bunch of guns to protect yourself, say from Obama or Clinton or whatever, coming in and taking over the country, they think, oh, man, give us every one of those guys that we can get. We'll put them on TV tonight. We'll even provide a chewing tobacco, they say. And that argument is made. They think that equals Cookville. And that's why it's in a lot of television. It's in the Homeland, latest episode of a series of Homeland. The lead, the government, the TV talk show host, the leader of the resistance, is out in the backyard of some of these. He's got 50 fans. He's got 50 fans somewhere in the sticks, somewhere. And they take target practice with a picture of the current female president on the target. And this TV host lectures these people to show his support for them. He makes mention of the fact that the reason the founders were so brilliant was that they provided a mechanism for all of us decent citizens to resist a takeover by a future tyrannical government, and the founders knew that it was likely and knew that it was going to happen. That's why the Second Amendment's there. So the left uses that actually as a technique to impugn the Second Amendment absolutists, as you are. But I understand from a different perspective. I understand because the left often offers solutions that are not solutions. So, for example, if Trump finds it politically opportunistic to agree with an age limit on buying a long gun, a rifle, let's say at age 21 or 25. And remember, Trump's like anybody. He would love to do something, gets praise from the drive-by media. He'd love it. But that just becomes a starting point. Then if we agree, Trump agrees, age limit to buying a gun. What about age limit on any other constitutional right? What about an age limit on free speech? What about an age limit on the right to assembly? What about an age limit on guaranteed protection against illegal searches? Like they can search you until you're 25. Up until 25, you got nothing worth hiding. But after 25, so I guarantee that's the slippery slope to me. The slippery slope is that these things are never solutions. They're never ends. They always begin a new objective or agenda of further restrictions on additional constitutional right. John, I'm glad you called. Thank you very much. We'll be back and continue after this.